Bradford, speaking in 1630, said that all great and honorable actions are accompanied with great difficulties. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Were the Apollo moon landings really a giant leap for mankind as claimed, or just a small step for man?
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
One of the most vocal critics was one of NASA's most respected astronauts, an all-American hero named Virgil Gus Grissom, who almost drowned when recovery helicopters were unable to lift his space capsule from the sea.
And of course this brings up the subject of the death of whistleblowers. Men like Gus Grissom, who was burned to death along with Chaffee and White. He was going to give an interview about what he really thought about Apollo. He hung a lemon on the command capsule on the day that he was murdered. Having seen hundreds of rocket firings when I was employed by Rocketdyne, I know that the jet of the lunar module lander, the lunar lander, would have created an enormous crater. It would have scoured the moon's surface. That here's Neil Armstrong talking about landing on the moon with a microphone, and yet he is sitting practically on top of a rocket engine that is putting out sound levels of about 140 or 150 decibels. Now we know that that is absolutely impossible to overcome that sound level inside the lunar lander with a normal human voice.
And 30 feet down, 2.5, picking up some dust. 4 forward, drift into the right a little. Good. Okay. Contact light. Okay, engine stop.
We copy you down, Eagle.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
And what amazes me is this one here showing a model of the moon with a camera track, showing how easily it would have been to fake the filming of the moon.
You'll notice here on these models there is a camera track. A camera starting at this end, coming down here, would approach the moon, or appear to approach the moon, and become ever closer towards it. This is a simulation rig that was built. This is the command and service module of the Apollo program. And you'll notice that the window here looks out onto a block here, and there's another one here. They're curved. These are the screens onto which the lunar surface was projected as the craft made a simulated approach towards the lunar surface. If a spacecraft is in deep space, the only possible explanation for a light seen through the window of the spacecraft is the sun. It's the only bright light in space. If it's not the sun, then it has to be some other artificial light.
What I do is I pull a vacuum in this chamber I created, and I have a glove inserted inside of it, and it was to prove that the flexibility they shown in their suits and gloves are impossible. Right now I can put my hand in there and I can move it every which way. I can grasp, I make a fist, I can lift up, down, but as soon as I throw this switch here, I evacuate the chamber, and this glove doesn't want to move. I can't bend it backwards. I can hardly force it down, and I can make a fist, but you can't hold it. And you could never pick, I mean, how could you pick up small screws and bolts like they've shown them to do, or trigger a little tiny trigger on a camera with the glove doing this?
The sounds in space, it's odd to have a hammer or a metal tool and bang it against something and hear absolutely nothing. You can, you know, sound won't travel in a vacuum, so there you are outside and you could be hitting something, no sound at all.
Atmosphere, there's no air. If you bang on something while you're doing your spacewalk, you will not be able to hear that.
Whereas during the Apollo missions, all kinds of sounds have been recorded that should not be possible if they are on the moon in the vacuum of space.
Okay, in fact, you're almost driving without a hammer. But if you hand it to me
it is fiction. It's mixed together. It's hard to separate them until you examine it closely. Those photographs can be demonstrated not to have been taken on the lunar surface. Now, if they were not taken on the lunar surface, there's only one other place they could have been taken, and that's on Earth.
No way they went to the moon with what they had. In fact, there's no way they can go today. There's no way they can go tomorrow.
Their ignorance of science is so complete, there's pointless to try and argue with them.
These hoax conspiracy propagators are doing a tremendous disservice to the young people of our future.
Any idea it could have been hoaxed is, quite frankly, insane.
You don't send man where you haven't sent the monkey.